Cobra Kai's finally back with the long-awaited Season 5. There were a lot of scenes that really did surprise the fans, but the return of the fan-favorite original characters from the Karate Kid series was definitely the highlight of the whole season. So in today's video, let's see what the creators said about the return of these fan favorites after the Season 5 finale. First of all, Cobra Kai boss teases fan-favorite return after killer Season 5 finale. The 5th season of Cobra Kai's cutthroat climax may have paved the way for some serious John Kreese vengeance. Speaking to TVLine about it, the show's creator Josh Heald was quizzed on the plan for Martin Kove's badass character going forward after narrowly escaping from jail. He said that one of the best character attributes about John Kreese was definitely the fact that he had faked his death before, so it was a really fun Easter egg for the character to lean into and go as full bore as they did with that fake out. He emphasized that it was such a moment that viewers find him in after Daniel LaRusso and Johnny Lawrence left him there to rot that it caused him to look inward and find that inner Cobra to figure out his way out of there with every relationship he'd made in prison. Heald, who also wrote the 2 Hot Tub Time Machine comedies, went on to further tease that obviously he was ready to get that no mercy spirit back, and he clearly had scores to settle. Guess we'll just have to wait and see what's in store for him in the next season. Adding to the Cobra Kai possibilities, Demetri's actor Gianni Decenzo exclusively told Digital Spy what he'd like to see unfold in the 6th season. Although he mentioned he couldn't confirm anything about it, Sakai Takai would be interesting to see later. He thinks the creators would do such a great job and the fans would love it so much, so he sees no reason why they wouldn't do it in another season. They definitely wouldn't leave such an interesting plot on a cliffhanger like that. Plus, there's still a lot still to solve regarding Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang. Even though they're kind of working together, they're still 2 separate groups, and of course prison doesn't seem enough to keep Kreese away. Next, Cobra Kai's epic Daniel vs. Silver fight. Ralph Macchio's character Daniel LaRusso, the OG Karate Kid, lost a little bit of his fighting spirit when he got pummeled by former sensei turned villainous Cobra Kai head Terry Silver, aka Thomas Ian Griffith, in episode 5. For hardcore fans, it was pretty hard to watch given the terror Silver put a young Daniel through in Karate Kid 3. But still, what goes around comes around. Both the show and the films have built Cobra Kai up to be this formidable enemy, and one who's willing to go to extremes for victory. This point was definitely driven home by the finale when Silver was prepared to fight Yuji Dun Okamoto's character Chosen to death in order to eliminate the competition and keep his dojo in its top dog status. Naturally, this backfired because the premise of Cobra Kai centered around the defeat of the evil dojo. While Daniel embarrassingly served Silver a taste of his own medicine in fine, dominating fashion, there was a small victory there for the disgraced Cobra Kai. The dojo was so far flung from grace that even the students turned their back on Terry and his teachings. This victory, however, could be seen through Daniel's fight techniques, since he had always prided himself on his ability to adopt his late sensei's teachings. Meanwhile, Mr. Miyagi, aka Pat Morita, impressed upon him the importance of seeking out peaceful resolutions and fighting defensively unless presented with no other option. Sure, Daniel has failed in that respect a few times, but still, he has tried to stick to this ideology, teaching his students the same. But during his defeat of Silver, Daniel leaned further and further away from Miyagi-Do's mantra and heavily into the lessons which he taught as Terry's student. Initially, as the fight kicks off, Daniel's on the defensive. It doesn't take long for him to revert back to embodying Cobra Kai's way, with Silver's words echoing in his ears with every strike. He immobilized Silver using the Quicksilver method, winding him in the process before landing the defeating kick in Silver's face. Crumpled to the floor, Silver's such a pitiful sight that viewers almost feel sorry for him, if his sheer inhumanity didn't make us long for John Kreese. Plus, how this fight proved that the dojo isn't the villain. How was this Daniel versus Silver showdown a victory for Cobra Kai, you ask? The fact that Daniel chose to rely on Silver's methods proved one thing. Although honorable, the defensive approach can only take you so far. There are times when being on offense is the much better course of action. Using the enemy's strength to triumph over them counts as one of those times. The point was similarly driven home in the previous season, when Mary Mouser's Sam and Peyton List's Tori went head-to-head at the All-Valley Tournament. There she used the teachings of Miyagi-Do and the Cobra Kai, all thanks to Johnny Lawrence's influence, to score the point. Despite the season backing Cobra Kai into a villainous corner and painting them as the bad guy, both these events demonstrated that that's in fact not the case. The teachings, although harsh, have their own merit and their place. It also highlights that there wasn't a problem with the dojo itself, but that the fault lay in those who run the karate classes. First Johnny, who's pretty misguided, then the power-driven Kreese, followed by the evil and despicable Silver. Now Season 6 ushers in a new age for the dojo. For the first time in Cobra Kai's history, there's no overarching figurehead, which would hopefully leave space for a more reasonable sensei to come in and lead with more honor. Even though it seems unlikely, we prefer it that way. After all, who else could keep Miyagi-Do on their toes? Still, one thing's for certain, they're going to need a whole new crop of students if the dojo is expected to survive after that Season 5 showdown. And now for some other related news. Firstly, why Cobra Kai Season 6 should be its last. Cobra Kai remains one of the biggest jewels in Netflix's crown, which is quite impressive considering it started off as a YouTube series. Still, with the development of the series, the running theme of the show itself has changed quite a bit. In Seasons 1 and 2, the focus shifted from original hero Ralph Macchio's Daniel LaRusso to original villain William Zabka's Johnny Lawrence, who was desperate to get back his heyday after a downward spiral. In doing this, it gave the two sides to every story trend a new perspective. From Johnny's POV that changed the entire way we looked at the original Karate Kid. Johnny wasn't the bad guy we all thought he was, and LaRusso wasn't quite the hero we had held him up to be. There's a balance of yin-yang in everyone, and it's just a matter of how you look at it. So with the plot seemingly heading towards its logical closure point, and with the drop-off point in mind, it seems that now might be the best time to let Cobra Kai go. After all, it has an almost perfect record of continuing a near-perfect 37-year legacy. But first, we need to have one last kick-ass fight in Season 6. Next, Ralph Macchio reveals Karate Kid's cinematic universe plan. Macchio teased that the Karate Kid cinematic universe has been created, and now that's where Cobra Kai is, right at the center of it. He said that when the day does come in for a landing, there are other areas to draw from, whether it's a Miyagi origin story or another Cobra Kai prequel before the Karate Kid. Everything will be derived from their series. There might even be spin-offs with some of the young cast of these characters, but they were definitely not done as long as they were given the opportunity to really bring it in. As long as it evolves organically, the writers really have their finger on the pulse of it. Lastly, what to expect next from the Cobra Kai? Ralph Macchio said that there was stuff they wrote in Season 3 that didn't happen until Season 4 because they didn't have any more room in Season 3. There was even stuff originally planned for Season 5 that they had shot, which was being held for the future if. So when they get the green light for more seasons, we'll get to see it. The final scene of Cobra Kai's 5 seasons saw Daniel reuniting with Chosen, his former rival, with the hope that they could take down Terry Silver and his dojo. Daniel coming to Okinawa actually gave him the opportunity to redeem himself in his eyes. Plus, he showed him a couple of his moves, so he's always going to feel that responsibility to help Daniel. We can't wait to see what's going to happen in the next season. And that's a wrap for this video. What did you think about Cobra Kai's boss teasing the fan favorite return after the Season 5 finale? Let us know in the comments down below. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. See you in the next video.